Today I'm going to be doing a rag rug oval with a single crochet, and I've got my Westcott titanium scissors, and I'm going to be using a 10mm hook, and this one is by Yarnology, and it's got a bamboo handle, and I'm going to need 4 or 5 stitch markers. And I'm going to be using t-shirt yarn today, but you can use whatever kind of fabric you want. And I'm going to also be using an 8mm hook, and this one is by Boy. So I'm going to go ahead and do a chain stitch with the 8mm. And then I'm going to switch over to my 10mm hook. So I'm going to start out by making a slip knot. I'm just going to hold my yarn like this and put the small end over the long end, pull the long end through and make a loop, make a slip knot. I'm going to put my hook into the loop and tighten it up. And then I'm going to chain. I think I might chain about 15. Let's see, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want my chain stitch to be very, very tight. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, I want my rug to be a little longer than this. I'm going to chain about 10 more. So here's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay. Now I'm going to switch my hook over to the 10mm, and I'm going to go ahead and chain one more, and this chain right here is going to act like a single crochet. I'm going to chain 3 more single crochets into this second chain from the hook. So that's the first one. Here's the second one. I'm going to put 3 more single crochets into this chain stitch right here. So in order to make a single crochet, I just put my hook into the stitch, pull up the yarn, put the fabric over the hook, and I'm going to pull that through both of those loops. That's a single crochet. So now I've got 2 single crochet in there, and I need 2 more. So you just put your hook through, bring up the fabric, put the fabric over, and pull through both. So there's 1, 2, 3, and I need 1 more. Okay. I'm actually going to have 5 in here, but when I go all the way around and come back, I'm going to put another one in there for my 5. Okay, now this right here, we're going to do 1 single crochet into each of these chain stitches. So 1 single crochet into each one. Okay, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you find this video helpful, please consider subscribing to Hook and Loops. I'd really appreciate it. It'd mean a whole lot to me. Now we want the chain to be very tight, that way there won't be any gaps in it. Because we're going to put two crochets, we're going to put another crochet in on the other side of this chain stitch. And so in order for not to be any gaps, then you need the chain stitch to be very tight. But you still want to be able to get your hook through and be able to work in it. It's easy for me because I'm using this t-shirt yarn and it's a little stretchy, and if you have a fabric that is not so stretchy, then you do want to get it very tight, but you do want to be able to put your hook in it and be able to work in it as well. So just keep that in mind. Okay, one more, and two more. One more after this one, and I'm going to be at the end. I'm going to be where we had just made the slip knot. So here's a slip knot right here. I'm going to loosen this up, and the cool thing about this part is that it's got this tail, so after I put in my single crochets, I can pull it and tighten it back up again, so there won't be any gaps. Okay, I'm going to put 5 single crochet into this knot right here, this slip knot. So I'm just going to put my hook through, pull up the yarn, put the fabric over and pull through. That's our single crochet. That's 1 single crochet, and I need 4 more because I want 5 total into that one hole. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now I still got that string hanging out, that tail, so all I have to do now is just pull it, and that tightens it back up. Okay, now we're on the other side, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a single crochet into each space on the other side. Okay, so this is the single crochet that was on this side. Now we're going to put one on the other side, and we're going to go through, it kind of looks like an X right here. And we're going to put one right through there into that hole, 1 single crochet. Okay, and the next one crisscrosses, and there's a hole right there. I'm going to put my single crochet right into there. I'm going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way down. Today we have crickets in the background. And maybe some frogs too. There's some different sounds going on out there. And I'm shooting this video October the 2nd, 2018. And it's a very nice day today. It's about 80 degrees. Okay, this is the last one. Okay, now I'm going back into this round part. I'm going to do 1 single crochet into it. And I'm going to do a slip stitch to hook it all together. So I'm just going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to figure out where that chain 1 went to. I think it's down here. So I'm going to go into that chain 1 right down there, and I'm going to slip stitch it together. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and chain 1, cut it off, pull it tight, I'm going to change colors. I'm going to put on this blue color. Work my slip knot, put my hook in it and tighten it up. Okay, from here I'm going to put in my stitch markers, because after a while it's going to be hard to see where the round begins and the straight part ends. So I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch markers right here where that straight part is. So I know that right here that this is where the straight part ends, and that's where the round part begins. And this is where the straight part begins, and that's where it ends on the round part. And put it on the other side as well. And hopefully this will help me keep track. Because if you don't pay attention to where the straight is and the round part is, then your rug is going to be disfigured, and it's going to have a weird look. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and begin right here where the straight part is. I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to go ahead and work in the back loop, because it creates a really cool rib effect, and I really like that. So I'm going to work in the back loop only. So this is your single crochet right here, and these are the 2 loops. So I'm just going to be working into this back loop. So I'm just going to put my hook right into the back loop, and I'm casting on with a single crochet. So I'm just going to pull this up like this. I'm going to work my tail as I go. Put my yarn over the hook and pull through both of those, and that's how you cast on with a single crochet. And I'm just going to be putting my tail along through here, and I'm going to be working my tail in as I go. So I'm just going to go into the next one. So I want 1 single crochet into the back loop on the straight side. Okay, now I've got one more stitch to do on the straight side, so I'm going to take off my marker, go ahead and work it. Okay, now I know that I'm on the round, so now I'm going to put 2 single crochet into each of these back loops. So I'm just going to go ahead and work my first one. Now I'm going to work my second one. I'm going to make sure I put it in the exact same loop. Okay, now next stitch, 2 single crochets into the back loop. Okay, the next stitch, 2 single crochets into the same loop. And go ahead and I'm going to turn this around as I'm going. 2 single crochets into the back loop of the next stitch. Okay, and right here I know this is the last one for the round, so I'm going to put 2 single crochets into that one. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take my stitch marker off, and I'm going to go ahead and put it over here on this side. Make sure I mark where the straight part is. Okay, now I know that the rest of them are straight until I get to this next marker. So I'm going to put 1 single crochet into each one of the back loops. I'm going to go ahead and add my stitch marker right here. That was my straight one. Okay, now I know that I have one more straight one to do as soon as I take this off. Okay, and now we're ready to do the round part, and we're putting in 2 single crochet into each of the back loops all the way around. So here's 1, 2 in the same loop. Next one, 1, 2 in the same loop. Okay, the next one, 1, 2 in the same loop, turning it around. So I'm going to do the other side. I'm working in that tail as I go. 1, 2, and one more. 1 and 2. Okay, now I'm going to do a slip knot. So when I do the slip knot, I'm going to be doing it into the back loop, but I'm also going to be picking up that back loop as well to get a good anchor. So here's the 2 top loops, and then there's a back loop back here.